Crimson Trace introduces a line of feature-rich world-class rifle scopes. This new line features 8 custom-designed reticles for specific applications, as well as a full lifetime warranty on all scopes. Find out more at crimsontrace.com.
If you set the combination locks to 308, 357, or 3006, you're in the right place. It's Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Call 866-TALK-GUN.
All right, welcome back to Gun Talk. Tom Gresham here. Yeah, we're going to be talking about, well, guns and shooting and ammo and scopes and all sorts of things. If there's something on your mind, if it has to do with guns or shooting, by all means, give me a call. If you have stumbled upon this show and you've never heard it before and you're thinking, a show about guns? Really? What's wrong with those people? I hate guns. Hey, give me a call. Let's talk about it. I'll give you the floor. In fact, we'll move you up to the front of the line. How's that? 866-TALK-GUN, or just call Tom. That's me, Tom Talk Gun. We can talk about that. Fair enough. All right. You know about my activism idea, which I've been talking about for the 25 years we've been on the air, which is one of the best things you can do for the Second Amendment and for activism is to introduce people to shooting. Take somebody to the range. Invite somebody to go. There was a survey done. It said half the women said that they would actually go shooting if someone would just ask them to go. And my idea behind that is this. When you go out shooting, I mean, and you've introduced people to shooting, probably. They all love it. They all enjoy it if you do it right. And they turn around, they smile, and they say, can I do it again? And you know what you've done at that moment? You have vaccinated that person. Because at that point, no one can ever tell them that gun people are bad or that guns are terrible, because their own personal experience basically works against that. You can't go against their personal experience. Well, somebody who has been huge, monumental in doing that in a place that really needs that in a way that is so good, as a Second Amendment activist and firearms trainer right there in Detroit, Michigan, joins us right now, Rick Ector. Hello, Rick. I am so glad you're here with us.
Hey, man, I am glad to be on the show, man. Been a huge fan for a while, and you know what? It was truly my pleasure meeting you at the GRPC over in Phoenix this past fall.
Oh, we had some fun over there. You know, I'm using that picture of you, right? And all the other. People don't know; they can't tell on radio. Okay, but just in case you have missed the fact, you're black, dude. Just telling you, you know?
Yeah, for about 52 years. 53 if I'm lucky this fall.
So we got this picture of you and all these other black Second Amendment activists, and we always put that. So when they start talking about the white supremacists in the gun rights movement, I always show that picture of you guys. I go, you mean like these white supremacists?
You know, it's really funny that the types of things that the anti-gunners try to, you know, float out in the media and in the social spaces, that firearms and guns is strictly, you know, an activity that only white people engage in, and that it's nothing there for black people and minorities, man. And I'm here to help dispel that myth and that rumor that's not true.
Well, you've been doing that very well. I mean, and you carry that whole message of the history of gun control and its racist background. When you talk about that within the black community, what kind of response do you get?
Well, one, they're really shocked and surprised at the history, man, because Detroit has its own place in the history books. You know, there was a case here back in the early 1900s, man, the Ossian Sweet case, man. He was a doctor, was doing pretty well for himself, tried to move into a white neighborhood, man, and was attacked by a white mob. He returned fire, and, you know, the police decided to do something about it, and at the end of the day, he was exonerated. And in the aftermath, the state of Michigan enacted some of the most draconian gun laws that had ever been introduced in America, man, and it started here in Detroit.
Well, you got to do something. You can't have black people with guns defending themselves, Rick. That's just, I mean, everybody could understand that, right? And that's where it came from. That's where gun control came from. Exactly what you're describing.
Yeah, exactly. It's to make people defenseless and dependent on the government, man. And the Supreme Court has told us on at least 2 occasions that it's not the job of your local police department and the government to make you safe, so that leaves you.
No, I mean, exactly right. We're talking with Rick Ector. He, the GOA Top 10 in 2019, GRPC, Gun Rights Policy Conference, Defender of Freedom Award. Just the awards go on and on. I mean, you're a firearms trainer, you're an activist. One of the things that got my attention, I want to ask you about, you were on this kick of introducing people to shooting, and you've been very successful at getting women to the range. Talk to me about that.
Well, 9 years ago, man, I saw a story on my local news station, man, that was very distressing. A woman had been attacked, killed, raped, her body discarded on the street as if it was trash, and I was really at a loss at how heinous of an offense that was, and was looking for a way to make a contribution. And I talked to a guy you probably have heard of, Ken Blanchard, man, and he liked my idea of training women for free. So 9 years ago, I went on the social media and induced 50 women to take me up on it, and I just grew it organically over the years. And here in our 9th season, we're shooting for, pardon the gun metaphor, 1,000 people on this upcoming May 17th, the week after Mother's Day this year. So hopefully we'll get, some more people informed about the program. And your platform, man, is you've been in the business for 25 years, man. So just being here is an honor, and hopefully, I can get some people to actually hear our call out.
Well, tell us about it. Wait, so are you trying to get 1,000 people to the range on one particular day?
Yeah, man. And it's not as daunting as it sounds. When you start organically, you create procedures on the fly, year-to-year basis. Right. So I'm not going to have them all show up at one time. I've modified the program over the years where I have them register in shifts, and they come in waves. We bring them in, we educate them, we train them, and we gently push them out the door and welcome the next wave of women. And this way of operating is going to carry us for another couple of years, and then I'll have to figure out another way to get even more women into one range.
Where do people find out? I mean, do you have a website where people can go to find out about that?
Yeah, social media still seems to be pretty big, man. On Facebook, my Rick's Firearm Academy Detroit page is at facebook.com/Michigan CCW.
Michigan CCW.
We'll be doing regular updates, and I'm trying to get the word out, and they just like the page, and they'll get the updates, and I look forward to keeping them informed.
Do you need help in the form of other instructors or people to organize or people just volunteers?
Man, you know what? I think I have enough, but I never turn anybody down because I want to keep the instructors fresh. Yeah. Watching people, anything could happen at a gun range. Mm-hmm. Luckily for me, our training program for the instructors has been A1. And over the years, we've caught a number of squib loads, and we're determined not to let that or anything mar this event. But if you're an instructor in the Metro Detroit area, you'd like to come on out, hey, contact us. As a matter of fact, I've had instructors as far away as Chicago, Illinois, and Atlanta, Georgia, come up on their own dime just to be a part of this project. It's so great, and it's so attractive in terms of the mission and the goal to empower women that they want to be a part of it.
What's the typical reaction you get? I mean, you've done it now with, I'm sure, but at this point, thousands of women. When you put a gun in their hand, and I was going to ask you, how do you do that? What do you tell them? But also, what kind of reaction you get after they shoot a few times?
Man, it's like universally, the reaction is, man, I should have done this years ago. But the thing is that they don't have a gateway to a gun range. I mean, ideally, you would say, okay, if you have an interest, just find your local lane, your local gun range, and just go. But it seems that they need a gateway, a friend, or some type of program to make it more welcoming and usher them there and give them a short briefing session and to tell them that they can do this, some encouragement. And I think that that's the way to go, man. And the women are responding in droves. And plus, they get to make friends at the event. And so they now have a buddy that they can go to the range with on a regular basis. So it's
they have a shooting buddy.
They have a shooting buddy, man. And, it's great. And I want to keep it going. I want this place Metro Detroit to be the place where women are leading the way in terms of getting trained and carrying guns.
That is amazing. Do you have any guesstimate, any idea how many women you have trained over the years?
Roughly over the years, probably, I'm guessing approaching 4,000,
Wow.
Over the years, and it's growing exponentially because I started with 50 9 years ago, in one day, and now this year
shooting for
talking
1,000.
about 1,000 in one day. So it's been a steady growth, but it's been exponential towards the end.
You make a point there, and you say, well, why don't they just go on their own? Well, they don't, and it's people who are shooters forget. It is daunting. It is frightening, and you need somebody to take you by the hand, and first of all, they need to say, look, it's going to be safe. That's the one thing they want to hear, from the beginning to the end. It's going to be safe. You're going to be okay, and we're not going to let you embarrass yourself. You're not going to be embarrassed at any point, and it's going to be easy, and it's going to be fun. Because they literally don't know. I mean, I've had people say, well, do I load my gun in the car before I go into the range?
Right.
Or what? They literally don't know what to do. And so that first time, if you can get them over that first time to the range, you get over all that stuff and they go, oh, okay, that's easy. I can do that.
And you're right, man, because I'm not too long into this gun environment myself. I got robbed at gunpoint 16 years in my driveway, and that was the motivation I needed to go to a gun range on my own and to get a range safety briefing from the employees there. And I shot. It was the most amazing thing in the world, and I can still appreciate the wonder, the awe, the fascination, and the fun that it is to shoot a gun for the first time. And I'm just glad to be an ambassador for all of these women to make this trip, this journey, this first step into gun ownership and gun operation.
Well, and of course, you're more than that. You were just down in Florida speaking there. You're a gun rights activist or Second Amendment activist all over the country now. Rick Ector, I just want to thank you for what you're doing. I want people to check it out, DetroitCCW.com, or on Facebook, look for Detroit CCW. Looking for help, looking for ideas, and I just want to get you back on here as soon as we can, okay?
Hey, man, I look forward to it. Thank you for allowing me to talk to your audience, man. And you know what? If you want to come on out on that day, man, maybe we can set something up technology-wise, and you can broadcast live or something to do interviews at the event. I'm not going to put you on the spot, man, but I just want to at least
What's the date?
The subject and let's have you think about it. It's on May 17th. This is on a Sunday.
May 17th. All right. We'll check into it, see what the schedule looks like. That might be fun. Sounds like it may be something we could put together. All right. We'll work on that.
I appreciate it. And again, thank you for having me on the show, man.
You bet.
Fan. Wish you another 25 more years on the air, man.
Sure appreciate it. Rick Ector, thank you so much for everything that you're doing, man. That's an outreach that just you cannot overestimate how important that is. Thank you, my friend. All right, there you go. So, introducing people to shooting. Of course, he's bringing that message to the black community, not only in Detroit, but in the rest of the country. That's huge. That is huge. And that message that, as he said, a lot of them don't know about that racist background of gun control laws, and they were originally written and used against the black community, just as he described there. Important stuff that we all need to know and be able to share. And it's really important, as I always talk about, we need a lot of women instructors. We need black instructors. It just helps people feel comfortable when they go to the range. It's just look, you know what, that's human nature. It's not right, it's not wrong, it just is. All right, fair enough? All right, 866-TALK-GUN. We're open lines now, looking for range reports. Tom Gresham here. This is Gun Talk.
Caldwell's new AR-500 easy-to-see, easy-to-mount steel targets are ideal for competition, training, and recreation. These targets are made of AR-500 hardened steel, can withstand thousands of rounds of both handgun and rifle rounds, up to 3,000 feet per second, and are available in 7 sizes. Visit CaldwellShooting.com to outfit your range. And don't forget your EMAX Pro hearing protection to ring steel, not your ears. That's CaldwellShooting.com.
For
36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
Mental health and guns. At Walk the Talk America, we are working with both the mental health community and the gun industry. Created by a gun industry veteran, Walk the Talk America seeks to raise awareness and create change through suicide prevention and firearm safety without legislation. We strive to eliminate the prejudice that firearms and mental health face. For more information and to support Walk the Talk America, please visit walkthetalkamerica.org.
When the U.S. military's elite units and law enforcement agencies across the globe demanded innovation and reliability, they didn't settle. They chose Sig Sauer. When world champion professional shooters demanded precision accuracy, they didn't settle. They chose Sig Sauer. So it's no surprise more and more civilian gun owners are refusing to settle for anything less. They're choosing Sig Sauer firearms, ammunition, electro-optics, suppressors, air guns, and training. Sig Sauer. Never settle.
I love it's a comment on Twitter. Sanford, buddy of mine, says, regarding your conversation about proper training and accuracy in the first hour, the quote is, fast is fine, but accurate is final, attributed to Wyatt Earp. I think I probably first read that in Bill Jordan's book, No Second Place Winner. If you can find a copy of it, it's a thin little thing, and you'll look at it and you go, wow, that's really outdated. Yeah, it is. I mean, in terms of equipment and everything else, it's about gunfighting. Bill Jordan, up until Jerry Miculek, the fastest draw with a revolver out there. I mean, yeah, Ed McGivern, but Bill did it not as a game. He was a border patrolman, got into gunfights, knew what he was talking about. It's a great little, in fact, I'm looking at my copy right over there right now. It's No Second Place Winner. And it shows revolvers. It's pretty much all revolvers. He was a .357 guy, 6'7", as I remember. Slow talking, drawl guy, talk slow, shoot so fast you can't believe it. But yeah, the fast is fine, accurate is final. And, different ways of saying that. You can't miss anybody fast enough to win. I mean, obviously, if you can get them to go away, that's a good thing, but the hits are what it's about. We were discussing training, well, not training in this case, practice. Training is working with an instructor, but practice. You have to make it hard on yourself when you practice. Practicing the easy stuff doesn't really do you any good, does it? I mean, if you said, I'm going to go out and, work on running around the track and being fast, and all you ever do is run slow, what's the point? If you want to be a better shooter, you have to go do harder things. You have to force yourself, both in targets and in time. Especially if you're talking about self-defense training, and with pistols or rifles, you need a timer, a shot timer. There are a lot of them out there. PAC makes them. Different people make them. Just get one. I don't think people say, well, which one? I don't know. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. If you get one and after a while you find it to be inadequate, now you've grown to the point where you need more features. And then you can get another one and hand that one down to a friend and give it to somebody. But you need a shot timer. And then we get to targets. Smaller targets make you work harder. Smaller targets are harder to hit. Aim small, miss small, right? So just saying, work on the stuff that's hard, not the stuff that's easy. How about a 3x5 card? There you go. Put it over the head portion of the target. That's your target. Put all your shots in a 3x5 card. Well, that's unrealistic. Really? We're trying to make you better. Make it hard. when you can do that all the time, you're better. Simple as that. Let's go to line 1. Christy's with us out of Carson City, Nevada. Hey, Christy, welcome to Gun Talk.
This is Christy Scott, yes.
Hey, Christy.
I'm actually a female gun store owner and an instructor.
Okay.
And my first introduction to guns was about 20 years after I was held at gunpoint in a home invasion and sexually assaulted, and I was scared to death of guns. So now I teach ladies-only classes about once a month, and I'm kind of heading towards doing more of the ladies that have never shot before. Mm-hmm. It's close to my heart. It makes me feel good to see them go from that fear to mastery over it. And I think we just need a lot more lady instructors.
Yes.
We learn differently.
Did you hear Rick Ector, who was on a little bit ago?
Oh, I love his thing. That's amazing what he's doing.
So, and I've been saying for years, we need more female instructors because the reality is women respond well to female instructors. Not that they can't learn from a male instructor, but it's different, and guys don't get that it's different. Don't you agree?
I totally agree, because we are different and we learn differently.
Well, and there's one other thing, and I don't have to explain it to you, is that you are subject to attacks that men are not, and you think about it. Women think about it all the time, every day, everywhere you go, and men don't. They just don't understand that.
Put me on the spot here, huh?
Now, tell you what, I'm going to do something I almost never do. Christy, can I get you to hold on? We've got a bottom of the hour commercial break, and I would love to chat with you some more. Are you okay with that?
You bet.
All right, we're going to be back with Christy in just a few minutes here, so we'll do that because this is way too good for us to pass up. We have talked about this for years, and here's a question for you. If you're a woman and you're a shooter and you're into guns, even if you're not, would you consider becoming an instructor? Now, you want to do something that's good for mankind, womankind, whatever. You want to do something that helps people. I would just submit that that's one of the best things you can do. Empowering people, making them feel safer, making them feel confident, and actually making them safer. Not just feel safer, but be safer. 866-TALK-GUN.
On Gun Talk, the answer is always yes.
Well, that's certainly true if the question is, should I buy this gun? The answer is always yes. If the question is, well, should I buy this gun or that gun? Same answer. There you go. I mean, simple as that. That's why we have cards, right? Just put it on the card. All right, welcome back. 866-TALK-GUN. Get you in here. We're talking with Christy Scott. She's with Battleborn Ammunition and Firearms in Carson City, Nevada. She is the head honcho over there. Christy, thank you so much for calling in. How'd you get, you said you were a victim of a home invasion and a sexual assault. Is that what got you started down the road of being a firearms instructor?
I got to change your terminology because I had to change my own. I'm the survivor.
There you go.
Sexual assault and home invasion. And what happened is I was doing insurance investigations and really getting drool when I got a good one, and I was offered a job as a peace officer. And so I had to overcome my fear of guns, and now here I am 30 years later owning a gun store and training other women, and it's just the most fulfilling thing I think I've ever done is teach not just ladies but other people that are not avid shooters, this great and fun hobby, I guess you would call it, but also a way to protect themselves.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting you mention it because it is both. It is a fun hobby. It's a thing you can do for life because it doesn't require a lot of physical strength, but at the same time, for many of us, it's a very serious thing. We enjoy the shooting, but we also make that a big part of our lives where we're going to be responsible for our own safety. We are, in fact, our own first responders. As I say, don't outsource your safety. But you started this off by talking about teaching women, and the thing that I've been saying for so long is how we, in this community, we need a lot more, not just a few, we need a lot more female instructors. How do you get female instructors? Because I'm looking at your website, I see you have some.
Well, I am the only instructor right now. But
okay.
I have tried to encourage friends of mine, ladies that come through the store, through the classes. You know, I tell them, you know, once you get to a certain point, you're going to want to teach. And it's so, you know, I have ladies that will come in tears and will sit in the classroom. I have the training guns in there, you know, the rubber, the green and blue.
Right.
And I have them hold those guns throughout the class so they can get used to where to point it without any fear of making a mistake. Because as women, if we're with men, we're worried about making a mistake on something that's their normal territory. We really are. And so we let them do that all day. They can make as many mistakes as they want. And when we get out to the range to see somebody in tears beforehand and see them just smiling and happy and actually coming back to the store after we go out to the range to buy more equipment, as one lady put it, it's just really fulfilling for me. Yeah.
I have to share with you one time when it was one of our many moves around the country. We had boxes, a lot of cardboard boxes, and they were just labeled HG. And if anybody asked, we said, well, that's the home and garden stuff. That was just, of course, that's all of our, the handguns are in there. But for us, it became, do you have your home and garden with you? Of course I do. So it's there you go. You know, okay, so how do we get more women instructors? How do we get them from I like this to I want to be an instructor?
I think we need to do more events. I think what the gentleman that was on before me is doing is fantastic. Getting this, how many people did he say? 1,000?
He's going to have 1,000 women on one day at the range. That's his goal. I mean, that's awesome. Of course, they've got a large population base in Detroit, but he can do that. But no matter where you are, you can say, okay, we're going to have not just Women's Day, but you do a full-scale event. And I'm going to throw this out. I think, in my experience, women are actually better at holding events than men are in terms of the planning and the decoration and the events and the coordination and the organization. And I mean, you've been organizing us for years, right?
Oh, absolutely. And we do food.
And you do food. Good point.
I'd love to start doing that in Carson City, but unfortunately our city officials have had our range closed for almost a year. I've been very involved with trying to get that back. Oh yeah. It's been a nightmare. So in fact, my husband and I wanted to shoot today, so we're traveling about 40 minutes away from our home to go shooting because our city is allegedly, they're going to have it open in April, but my store is we got that location because it was 2 miles from the range on the way back for most people.
Right.
And 9 months after we opened there, they shut down the range.
Well,
it's been over a year now.
But it sounds like you're on the path toward getting it open again?
Well, we're hopeful.
Okay.
And as an instructor, it's super tough for me to say, okay, now where do I go?
Yep. No,
I
agree.
My people in a safe place that my insurance is not going to freak out at. So I think we need a buy-in from everybody, the city officials. You know, I'd love to hold a one-day event at the range where I can just have everybody come out and shoot.
Well, you know what? Maybe you could pull that off. Do a one-day event, invite them out, and do it for raise a fundraiser for a women's shelter or whatever. You know, there's a lot of ways to skin that cat where you get the media on your side and you do it in such a way that the politicians cannot afford to stay away.
You bet.
There you go.
One of the things that we started doing is a class through the NRA called Refuse to be a Victim.
Yes, it's a great program.
Because there's you know about it. So there's a certain level of women that are so afraid of guns that they will not even consider it. So I thought, we'll do this class, we'll get them out, and they'll see me, hear my story about how afraid I was, and maybe that little bit of push. Okay, there's another lady that's overcome this. Maybe I'll feel comfortable enough with her to do something beyond the refuse to be a victim.
There you go. Use that as a gateway.
Program.
Yep, use that as a gateway. Christy, look, I got to run. I thank you so much for calling. Thank you for what you're doing, and I would encourage you to really make that effort to try to get, build a cadre of women instructors And for anybody else out there, particularly for the women shooters, I would encourage them, consider becoming an instructor. We need you, and you would benefit. You would grow a lot from that process. Again, Christy, thank you so much. Keep us posted on the range if you would, please.
Will do. Thank you.
All right. You take care. All right. Open lines for you. 866-TALK-GUN. If you're a woman, here's a question. Would you rather take a self-defense firearms class from a woman as opposed to a man? 866-TALK-GUN.
For more than 70 years, Timney Triggers has been enhancing the shooter's experience. Whether it's a local competition, a day at the range, or even the hunt of a lifetime, setting the standard in aftermarket triggers, Timney is now producing more than 170 models of triggers for bolt-action rifles, shotguns, AR rifles, and semi-automatic rifles. Proudly made in the USA since 1946. Find your new trigger at TimneyTriggers.com.
This land, once wild and free, fades now from our memory. But I remember what it was like, what we were like, what we are capable of when we band together. Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. These natural wonders are where waterfowl begin their cycle of life, where the deer and the antelope play, and where we, the people, gather together to see and share what makes the outdoors so great. The time is now to band together with organizations like Ducks Unlimited. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
Easy monitoring of your personal gun safe, hotel room safe, toolbox, storage unit, luggage, and more is now an option with the Lockdown Puck. All you need is a Wi-Fi connection to receive notifications from the Puck on your phone about an open door, any detected motion, and even temperature and humidity readings. Secure what matters most with the Lockdown Puck. Visit lockdownpuck.com to learn more and to pre-order your puck today.
You know that we give away things around here. Well, it's time to give things away. We had this fabulous sweepstakes giveaway, whatever you call it. We were working with SIG. I got the names of the winners. All right, so here's the deal. Check your email. Look for emails that come in from anybody, anything at Gun Talk, okay? Let's see. The first prize, the cross bolt action rifle. Let me try that again. The SIG Cross, that's their bolt-action rifle in 6.5 Creedmoor, goes to Christopher T. The BDX system goes to Charles W. The P320 X5 Legion goes to Liang L. That's Liang. And the P320 X Full Romeo 1 Pro goes to Teresa M. If I read your name, be sure to check your emails. Go back and look through the spam, look through everything, because there's an email waiting for you somewhere that says, hey, you won guns and optics and cool stuff, okay? Let's see. Excuse me. We got a question from Robert. He says, Tom, way back when my father taught me to shoot with one eye open, now I have my father taught me to shoot with one eye open. Now I have macular degeneration in my dominant shooting eye. So on several goose hunts late this season, I was shooting with both eyes open. I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. I would love to learn to shoot left-handed. However, I have a pacemaker on the left side. Am I done hunting? Please give me some advice. No, Robert, you're not. There is a device made for people like you, right? Here's the deal. He can't use his dominant eye on his right side, and he can't shoot a gun from the left side because he's got a pacemaker. At least he's worried about that. First thing is ask your doctor to find out if that's going to be an issue. You may be guessing about that. If it's not an issue, switch to the left side. But there is a thing made for you, and it's specifically for shotgun shooters, really. It is a crossover stock. It is a stock that is bent in a real weird S-shaped, goofy-looking thing. And what it would mean is you would put the stock, the butt of the stock, on your right shoulder and cheek the stock as you normally would, but because the stock has a weird bend in it, the gun would actually line up on your left eye. So if you'll use your internet search engine and look for crossover stock, you will see. It will. When you see the picture of it, you'll go, oh, now I get it. I didn't understand it when Tom was explaining it, but now I get it. Okay. So you put the gun on your right shoulder, but you're using your left eye because this bend in the stock moves the entire firearm over, the whatever it is, 4 inches that gets it lined up. It's very specialized, but it can really save someone's shooting career. It allows you to keep shooting. So I would encourage you, if you would, Robert, take a look and do a search for crossover stock, and you can probably get that fitted to one of your shotguns, all right? Let's see, line 5, Steve's with us out of Stone Mountain, Georgia. Revolvers. Steve, talk to me.
Hey, Tom. I don't so much collect guns as I accumulate them, and I purchase in binges, and lately I've been on a 45 long Colt kick. I've got recently got a 25.5 in blue, 45 long Colt, and recently I picked up a 625-9 mountain gun, also in 45 long Colt. Ooh. And I've got a opportunity to purchase another 25.5, same model as the blue one, except a nickel. And my question is, I have a couple of nickel revolvers, but I haven't had them long enough to see how they wear. What has been your experience with how well nickel wears and how long-lasting it is, and is it a good thing to have on coating on a firearm?
The reality is, if you know how to take care of a blued gun, you are miles ahead, because nickel actually needs quite a bit less care than a blued gun. Okay. It generally doesn't corrode. It doesn't rust. I mean, anything can rust. So stainless steel can rust. Sure. But all you have to do is, if you wipe it down the same way that you would wipe down a beautiful blued revolver, which you have, those nickel guns will last forever. It shouldn't be an issue at all. And they look good in the process.
They are very, very attractive guns.
They really are.
I only have 2 other nickels, a 10-5 Smith and a Model 58 in nickel, and they're beautiful, beautiful pistols. But I haven't had them long enough to see how long wearing they are.
I got to ask, what got you going on this kick about revolvers?
I love revolvers. I love semi-autos. I'm glad we have choices, but revolvers are just so classic and they're so fun to shoot, and I just love the way they handle, and I can definitely print smaller groups with a revolver than I can with a semi-auto, except for perhaps a 1911.
Isn't that interesting? Now, when you take friends out and you have them shoot your revolvers, isn't that an interesting experience, especially if they don't have much, if any, revolver experience?
Yes, that's a good question, Tom, and I'll tell you, I've figured out from that there are basically 2 groups of people who don't care for revolvers and people who've actually shot them and know what they're all about.
So, in other words, if you don't like it, it's probably because you don't have any experience with it.
Yeah, my wife is actually the one who got me in revolver. She's always been a Smith & Wesson revolver fan, and she got me interested in them, and I've kind of gone a little bit ape nuts with them here. But I really do enjoy them.
It reminds me of that old line from W.C. Fields. He says, it was a woman who drove me to drink. I never wrote to thank her.
That's awesome.
Same thing with you and the revolvers. Be sure to thank your wife. Well, I'm right there with you. I love the revolvers. I'm quite the fan. I'm kind of exploring single actions. I will occasionally, you will find me wearing a double-action revolver instead of a semi-auto for self-defense, especially when I'm around the four-legged predators. So there's that. But I applaud you on the choice of the 45 Colt. A great caliber. I am in the process, or starting the process, of having a single-action .45 Colt built. Just doing something a little bit different, just because you got to be a little bit different. There you go. All right, thank you for the call, sir. I appreciate that, Steve. 866-TALK-GUN. Hey, Steve in Winfield, don't go far. We're going to get to you. We do have room for you if you'd like to join us. 866-TALK-GUN. Michelle, I'm going to tell on you. Michelle's over here dancing. I mean, come on. Yeah, we don't like our jobs, as Jim says. It's a terrible place. Awful around here. I love this, an email from Pat. He sends me a picture. It's a Savage Rascal, youth size, single shot, 22 long rifle, wooden stock. He said he took about 125 rounds. I did not take enough because he shooting 7 yards because he's shooting with Alex, the 8-year-old. And the 8-year-old, that was for his 8th birthday. He's shooting at the Eagle Peak shooting range in Texas. First time he'd shot a gun. Got some great targets. Alex had a great time, shot all the ammo. He says, when we were through, Alex was asking about shooting a pistol. He wanted me to bring a pistol next time. Then an AR-15, then a shotgun, then a sniper rifle. He's got it all planned out. Way to go, Alex. Happy birthday. That's a good day at the range there, I guarantee you. Line 4, Steve is with us out of Winfield, Nevada. Hello, Steve. You're on Gun Talk.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
I am great, sir.
Thank you for taking my call. Tomorrow, President's Day, is Lobby Day at the West Virginia Capitol, and West Virginia Citizens Defense League will be there in force. We've had great success in the past, hoping to continue our success. We're not in the dire straits that our Virginia neighbors are in, but we're working so that we don't get there.
Well, I'm just going to say that. The way you avoid the Virginia model is to get there ahead of time, because you know that there are people in there wanting to push these gun bans, these restrictions, the red flag laws, the universal background checks, the bans on magazines, all the stuff that's going through in Virginia, and you stop that by getting ahead of it. So what are you guys going to be doing?
We all gather together about 8 o'clock, and then when legislature convenes, we go up and sit in the balcony. We have black shirts, which we wear, which are the West Virginia Citizens Defense League shirts we get when you're a member, and we all wear them so that we are very visible.
Perfect. Good.
One thing I do want to mention is Senator Manchin does not like the black shirts, as he calls them, because we protest everywhere he goes. After he sponsored the Manchin Toomey bill,
right? All he's got to do is change what he's doing, and you won't be bugging him anymore. It's simple. If he wants to get rid of you, he needs to get on the right side of this issue.
That's exactly right. One other thing I want to mention: Putnam County, which is my county, is the first in the state to be a sanctuary county.
Oh, excellent. Hey, Steve, I'm going to run out of time, so I want to do this. I got your note here about the AR-15 problem you're having. Here's my suggestion to try, okay?
Okay.
Get it to the range, lube it up like crazy till it's dripping, and shoot it, and don't ever let it get dry. Keep it wet, 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 and shoot it, and see if you can get a couple hundred rounds through it, and see if that doesn't smooth it out and take care of whatever issues you're having, okay? But these things like to run wet.
Particular type of lubricant, Slick 2000?
Slip 2000 is great. Actually, almost any of the modern gun oils or gun lubes will work fine. The main thing is, like every 100 rounds, just go ahead and coat it down again. I mean, if you're slinging oil all over the place, nothing wrong with that. You can clean it all off. But I think that will really help it break in, and you're probably going to take care of all your issues. And look, let me just thank you again for what you guys are doing for the Lobby Day, and encourage everybody else to consider doing the same thing. Get your group together, wear the same kind of shirts, make sure they understand who you are and why you're there, and show up, because that's what it's about. Hey, when we come back, we're going to be talking about reloading, but also I want to tell you about a guy locally who's figured out how to get politicians' attention. He doesn't play nice, and he doesn't play fair. He plays to win. And if we don't learn that message, we're going to continue to lose. So we'll be sharing that with you. 866-TALK-GUN. This is Gun Talk.